Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into some more book talk drama. Like I said in my other video, which I will link it below if you haven't seen it yet, but clearly I love books. I'm also on BookTok, so I see all of the book talk drama going on. So I just had to touch on this one as well because my feed was covered with this most recent scandal. What happened is a very popular author, J.D. Barker, had sent an email looking for BookTokers to promote his book. And the type of videos that he was looking for were definitely not appropriate and not what you should be asking for random people on the internet to provide for you. But he was essentially soliciting spicy videos to help promote his newest book. It's a total mess, so let's get into it. Also really quick, I just want to say, I don't know if it's visible on the camera because I can't really see the viewfinder that well from here, but if my skin looks like red or textured at all, I started a new prescription cream. I'm hoping it doesn't pick up on camera, but yeah, my skin is not happy right now, so if it looks like something's going on, that is what. But anyways, that doesn't matter, so let's get into it. So who is J.D. Barker? His full name is Jonathan Doyle Barker, and he is a New York Times and international best-selling author. His typical books are thrillers, often incorporating elements of horror, crime, mystery, sci-fi even, that kind of thing. His books have over 140,000 ratings on Goodreads, so that just kind of goes to show you how popular he is. J.D. Barker's newest book, Behind a Closed Door, is set to come out May 6th of 2024. And on his website, he did advertise this as like a spicy thriller. He described it as 50 Shades meets David Fincher's The Game, which I'm not familiar with that book, but it sounds like a thriller for sure. And that's basically all you really need to know about him, just that he's a popular author, makes thriller books. That's basically it. So that leads us to, how did he screw up? Well, on January 23rd, 2024, so very recently, an email was sent to numerous BookTokers from a PR agency suggesting a collaboration to help promote J.D. Barker's new book, Behind a Closed Door. And BookTokers were very excited initially to be able to receive the book for free and even to be able to do a paid promotion, just because a lot of the time those deals are pretty hard to come by unless you have a ton of followers. But that excitement quickly disappeared when they saw what type of video was being suggested for the promotion. Now, please note, BookTokers typically love a spicy book. I know I myself do, but that does not mean that they are willing to make spicy videos of themselves and post them online for all of their following to see. And I'm gonna read you a copy of the email that they received. So I'll post it up here and I'm gonna read it as well. So how will this work? Request a copy of Behind a Closed Door from here. There's a link, or an ebook via NetGalley, also a link. A copy of the book will be shipped to you within 5 business days. If you enjoy the book, create a video and submit a link here before going live with it on your platforms. Barker will personally review each video and either approve it, triggering payment, or offering suggestions to get it approved. Once it's approved, you're free to post. General rules for approval. The book's cover image or the physical book must appear in the video. The video must include hashtag sugar or spice, hashtag behind a closed door, hashtag am reading J.D. Barker. This book is spicy. Here are a few video ideas currently in the works by other influencers. And then it gives you an example of kind of what you can write on the screen. So it says, text, what kind of person do you think I am? Sugar or spice? And then the video idea is a playful image while the word sugar is on screen, and then fast cut to something racy when the word spice appears. And you can pick a music of your choice. The other option is text, what kind of person are you, sugar or spice? And the same kind of video idea with the same music, any choice. Or text, who doesn't like to relax with a good book? Video, a camera pan up or down the body using only the book to cover up your naughty bits. Or text, where's the most taboo place you've ever had sex? Video, focus the camera on influencer for 10 to 15 seconds, holding the book or pointing to a digital image of the book, then quickly flash to their taboo place for half a second. These are just suggestions. You're welcome to use them for your video or come up with something on your own. Half the fun of something like this is to let creativity rule. The content of the video is entirely up to you. As long as it's promoting Behind a Closed Door, it will be eligible, so get creative. Questions, no problem, just shoot me an email. Best of luck. And then it says Julia. The next page says, as one of the founders of Best of Book Talk, New York Times and international best-selling author J.D. Barker regularly thinks outside the box, not only while writing, but when it comes to advertising. While some authors have found limited success promoting their own titles on platforms such as TikTok and Instagram, he knows people like you, the influencers, are far better at creating content and captivating the social media audience than he ever could be. He also understands how much work goes into those videos, and he wants you to be sure that you are fairly compensated. That in mind, he's developed the following pay scale based on total followers, and then I'm not going to read every single one, but the range is starting at 3,000 followers, $100, and the final one being anywhere from up to 750,000 is $2,400. Anything above that is a negotiable rate. And the followers may be on a single platform or a combination of TikTok and Instagram, providing that you are willing to post to both. So as you can see by that, he was suggesting specific types of videos, and if approved, you're good to go ahead and post, and then and only then you'll get paid. And as it notes in the email, the videos were to be reviewed by J.D. Barker himself, himself, not the PR agency, not Julia, but specifically it says that JD Barker will be reviewing all the videos, where he can approve or deny it or tell them what to improve so that it is able to get approved. And I can only imagine what type of critiques that would lead to if they sent that type of video. I don't know. I just don't really get what he was going for with that. Needless to say, the BookTokers who received this were not happy with it, and understandably so. It's pretty disrespectful and demeaning to be like, oh nice, look, a paid promotion, someone values my work, and then to see that they're suggesting that you send a nude video with a book just covering your naughty bits for $100. And some BookTokers were even led to have questions like, what's gonna happen to the videos that are not approved? Like, where are these going? And now we'll look at a couple videos from BookTokers who received the email just to give you more of an idea of how they felt and like why this is so wrong.
I cannot believe that this is an actual email that I received this week from an author about making promo video for one of their books. It is normal to receive emails from authors asking, hey, would you be interested in making some content in exchange for a free copy of my book? That's normal. However, this one wants you to cut something racy when the word spice appears. Or this, a camera pan up or down the body using only the book to cover up your naughty bits. Or this one, where it wants you to put the text, what is the most taboo place you have ever had sex? This is from a male author, by the way, and in the email it states that he will be personally reviewing each video submitted to either approve it and trigger payment, or he'll offer you suggestions on how to improve it so that it gets approved. This just makes me so uncomfortable and just feels so creepy and predatory to me. Goodbye.
Okay, so exactly like she said there, it does feel really creepy and predatory, and obviously it does say that you can do whatever type of video you want, but based on all of the examples that they gave being something relating to spice and that kind of thing, it doesn't seem like you're super open to whatever you want. Here's another video from the same creator.
It gets better, or worse. I don't really know which way you want to look at it, but I just realized after I posted the follow-up email from JD Barker that the initial email with the like racy video ideas and the payment options was from Best of BookTok PR firm, which JD Barker co-founded. Imagine blaming the PR firm that you co-founded. Goodbye.
Yep. So again, like she said there, we're going to get into that a little bit more when we get to JD Barker's acknowledgement of the situation. But yes, he does actually co-found that company, the PR firm that sent the email.
I was debating making this video, but then someone else I follow also got the same email and I thought I need to talk about this. I'm going to tell you about quite possibly the most creepiest and predatory behaviour I've ever experienced from an author that I got this morning. So I got an email and it was asking me if I wanted an arc of a book in return for a video. That's quite common, that's quite normal, nothing shady about that, until I got suggestions at the bottom of the email about videos that would be a good fit for this book. That is when it started getting weird. Because it wasn't just a video talking about the plot, it wasn't a video talking about what I'm excited to read. One of the suggestions was for a camera to pan around on me while I was naked with nothing but the book covering my naughty bits. Another was a suggestion that I talk about my most taboo place that I've ever had sex. I think it can't get worse. At the bottom of the email it said that I needed to send the author the video first, whether they can approve or deny it, and if they deny it I don't get the money. So essentially an author is going around asking young girls to send barely clothed videos of themselves promoting their book that they can then receive and deny payment. First of all, they were offering me $265 to see my tatters. You need a lot more money in your bank account to see these naughty bits, my love. Second of all, that is a very, very weird email to be sending to young girls and then covering it up with book promotion. No. It got worse. So JD Barker, the author who went around requesting partially nude videos from influencers to promote their book, sent me an apology email. I say apology very lightly because not anywhere in this email did he take accountability. Apparently, he hired PR companies.
Okay, I'm going to pause really quickly in that video to read the email, but it says, "This message you received from my account was not issued by me, nor was it approved by me. It was sent by one of the many PR firms I hired to promote my latest title. We are working with influencers on multiple social media campaigns, and while some of those influencers have suggested racier posts to tie in with the theme of the book, that is not the heart of the campaign. The individual who edited this message chose to include these racier suggestions while editing out the the others. Again, that was not the intent of the campaign. Had I seen this message before it went out, I would have stopped it. Ultimately, this is on me. I should not have allowed an outside firm to access my email account. That has been corrected. I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you.
To do his promotion for him, and he gave them access to his personal email account, and he didn't check what they were sending before he approved them. He didn't read them. He just gave them access to his personal email and went, yeah, you just send whatever you think is absolutely necessary. And his apology is essentially saying, I didn't see it. This was nothing to do with me. My bad. First of all, take accountability. Either you had something to do with it and it's disgusting, or you allowed someone access to your personal email to then do something for you without bothering to check it, which is just negligent. But I want to know, what would you have done if someone sent those videos to you? If influencers sent you partially nude videos of themselves to your personal email, would you have said anything? Or would you have gone, this is great, yeah, perfect? Because something about this is smelling kind of fishy.
Okay, exactly. She makes a great point at the end of that video too. If he's saying he had no idea about this, what was he gonna do if those videos did start rolling through his email? Would he not be like, what is up with this? Definitely seems like he at least somewhat knew about the videos, especially if he was the one to approve them.
A New York Times best-selling author who was nominated for the Bram Stoker Horror Award is soliciting young BookTokers to send him partially nude photos so he can promote his next novel. Yes, you heard that right. Let me give you all the details. When I first heard this morning, I thought it was like a Nate Lemke situation, like some nobody author coming into BookTok to stir trouble just to get some promotion for their book. But no, it is J.D. Barker. I have one of his books, Fourth Monkey, that I got for free at a conference, and I'm definitely not reading it now. He sent this message to a bunch of young female BookTokers, offering to pay them to promote his next book and saying, here are some ideas that you could use to create content. One of them is the text that says, who doesn't like to relax with a good book? And then a suggested video to accompany it where the camera pans up and down the woman's body as she uses only the book to cover up her naughty bets. Suggested prices for this start as low as only $100 to send partially nude photos, and he was asking these BookTokers to send those videos to him first, and if he approves it, then you'll get paid. Otherwise, he just has your video of your partially naked frame. A reviewer named By the Bookcase provided all the screenshots here and also included J.D. Barker's statement where he tried to blame it on a PR firm, failing to mention that the PR firm in question, he is the founder of. The PR firm is the Best of BookTok, and it says right in his bio that as one of the founders of Best of BookTok, New York Times and international best-selling author J.D. Barker regularly thinks outside the box. He definitely is here. This is someone who has collaborated with James Patterson. This is not a small author. And the fact that he thinks he can just solicit naked photos is so stinking creepy. And it kind of couples with the conversation happening on Threads about pretty privilege in the book world and people feeling that they need to do their hair and makeup in order to get book promotion. And how much do you want to bet that he only sent these messages to young conventionally pretty females? I'm curious to see what sort of repercussions he gets from the traditional publishing world. This is not a debut author, and I hope they come down on hard as him as they have come down on authors who have done a lot less cruddy things. Just a quick update on the J.D. Barker situation, because I had a lot of people ask, why is this a big deal? And somebody wrote in my comments, he could have just asked people from OnlyFans to do this type of content. And that's exactly it. There are women out there who are models or entertainers who would be willing to make this type of content if that's what you wanted to promote your book. But he went to book reviewers who are librarians and teachers and doctors and students. I was wrong in my initial email when I said that it was only young women who received it. Apparently, it was a much larger list than that. So many people in my comments got it. So I don't know if it makes it better or worse that he was soliciting birthday suit photos from everyone, but it doesn't make it any less creepy. And the fact that the list is so big is concerning because I have a niece who's now in her early 20s, but when she was a teenager in high school, she was a book blogger, successful enough that she was sent on panels at conferences. And I wonder if any effort was made to weed out this list of teenagers like that, because as a parent, if my teenage book lover received an email asking for a nude photo, I would lose it. And the idea that the photo was supposed to be of your naked body with just the book covering yourself. I told this to my husband, and his response was, how big is the book? Like physically, how large is the book that he thought it could cover that? If you're wondering if there are
That's such a funny comment. That's so true. I didn't even think about that.
going to be repercussions, I was contacted by a reporter who was covering the story. I declined to comment because I did not receive the email personally, but I sent them looking for other BookTokers who did. And I know of another creator who was contacted by a completely different news outlet to give a quote on the story. So I think it will be hitting the news and there will be repercussions coming soon. I don't see how there couldn't be.
Okay, so she definitely made a lot of really good points there. I do have a video that kind of touches on one of her issues, which was that, you know, for example, her niece, who in high school was a very popular book blogger, and she was thinking like, you know, what if someone like that got this request and started sending those videos? And that's a very valid concern, like what was done to weed out minors from receiving this if tons and tons of people have received the email. From everything I've heard, it seems like all ages, all genders, everyone received the email, which again just seems like such a huge oversight, because then that could potentially mean that you've been soliciting nude videos from minors. And here is a video that kind of talks about that point.
1. Blocked.
So it's just a pretty quick video, but this girl says that she is a teenager herself and received the email. So that just kind of goes to confirm that nothing was really done to make sure that didn't happen, clearly, since it did happen. Now, obviously that's awful to begin with, but some people may be thinking, you know, why not give them the benefit of the doubt? I saw a couple people saying it's unfortunate that this happened, but they kind of were trying to see the best in the situation and hope that he just truly had nothing to do with it. But then we did learn, and it became more public knowledge, that he is the founder of the PR firm that allegedly did this. The other issue to me that proves that he definitely did know about this was it was sent from his personal email, and that he was supposed to review the submission. So obviously would have said to him, hey, you know, you're going to start getting these videos rolling through. You have to approve or deny them so that we can trigger payment. It's not like he would have received these videos and the PR firm wouldn't have told him why he was receiving them or that he was personally to approve or deny them. And JD Barker was actually dropped by his agent after news of the situation broke, after a number of influencers from BookTok took to air out the situation. Barker's agent, Alex Shane of Writer's House, said, I no longer represent JD Barker and I'm upset and saddened by what has transpired. That's pretty much all he said. Not much more to say about that, to be honest. Of course, after all this went down, JD Barker did take to Twitter to apologize and address the situation. So I'll pop that up here. I'll also read it, of course, like I always do for those of you who are just listening. But he wrote, on January 23rd, an email went out on my behalf to known BookTok influencers without consideration of age or gender from a company I own, detailing the framework of a social media marketing campaign meant to promote my upcoming novel, Behind a Closed Door, an erotic thriller set to release later this year. The email detailed several video ideas that were in keeping with events that occur in the book, a work of fiction. Those ideas were followed by, these are just suggestions, you're welcome to use them for your video or come up with something on your own. Half the fun of something like this is to let creativity rule. The content of the video is entirely up to you. As long as it's promoting Behind a Closed Door, it will be eligible, so get creative. This campaign was never approved. The email wasn't meant to go out without a substantial rewrite, but through a chain of errors, it did. I take full responsibility for that. I'm horrified such a message was released, and I deeply regret the hurt I've caused to those who received it. I have nothing but respect for the writing community and the people who champion it, and I've let you all down. I have nothing but the deepest respect for women. I'm a husband. I'm a father. There's no excuse for the insensitivity demonstrated by my actions. The weight created by those actions is inexcusable. I can and will do better. The written word is something I cherish. Words have power, and sometimes they can hurt more than the most dangerous weapon. Knowing I've wielded that weapon and injured is something that will weigh on me for the remainder of my days. If you were impacted by this, I am truly sorry. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be a YouTube video about a scandal if I didn't have an issue with the apology. So let's discuss that. So my first issue with this, as with most apologies that I react to on my channel, is that he never actually said what was wrong that he did. He mentioned specifically a quote from the email, kind of excusing the actions by saying, these are just ideas, get creative, you know, you don't have to do exactly this. But he didn't say what this is. He didn't actually include the text that was in the email and what he was asking for. And to me, that always comes off as a bit manipulative, because in my mind that reads as, if you know, you know, and if you don't, then you don't have to know, kind of thing. So people who didn't see the situation will see this and not really understand the full situation. And I think that's kind of what he's hoping for. I also feel like you can't really apologize fully unless you take ownership and own up to what you did wrong, not just provide excuses or things that you said after that kind of make what you initially did not as bad. It feels like he's trying to cushion the blow, per se, by adding in that they were just ideas. Kind of like he's covering his ass in a way and saying, well, I did say you didn't have to do exactly that. He then goes on to say that he's a husband and a father, which again, that feels manipulative to bring up because that means nothing in the situation. But if anything, it feels like he's trying to garner sympathy or have people understand that he would never intentionally disrespect people like this because he has kids and a wife of his own. Again, that just kind of makes it worse though, in my opinion. And also, being a husband and a father does not exempt you from messing up. Like, this happened regardless of those other hats that you wear. And I feel like that just has nothing to do with the situation now. Especially just being brought up in that way. Like, to say, I'm a husband and a father, so I wouldn't hurt people like this. Well, you did, so yes, you would. And I do appreciate that he admitted that the email was sent from a company that he owns. But for me, in order for this to be at all a decent apology, I mean, I already mentioned he would have had to own up to exactly what was sent. But also, I personally would want an explanation as to how did this email get through then? If you're gonna say that it was the PR agency that you own, how are you not gonna explain how this got through? Like, you're saying, unfortunately, due to a chain of errors, it was sent out when it wasn't supposed to be. How did that happen when you own the firm? How are you listed in the email as the person reviewing the submissions and you didn't know about that? I find that hard to believe, and I think without him addressing that, there's no reason for me to believe what he's saying is true. I mean, obviously this is all alleged. I do have to say that. And the other thing to me is the fact that this email was ever even a draft to be sent tells me that somewhere along the line he was okay with this idea, because you would think if someone gave this idea and he was just instantly like, no, that's not like respectful, I don't want to do that, the email would never even been drafted. But the fact that it made it to like a draft of an email, whether it was meant to be changed or not, tells me that at some point that idea was approved. But yeah, that's just my take on that. And now we'll talk about some of the repercussions that have happened. So far this whole thing has been very publicized, been covered by numerous mainstream news articles, being made very, very public. So that's one thing that has come out of this. Obviously his image is not looking too good right now. And JD Barker, as mentioned, was also dropped by his agent, as well as the publicity company that was working with him, not the one he owns, but a different one, K Publicity, who had nothing to do with this email. People were also speculating that he would be dropped by his publishing agency, but that is not possible because he is a self-published author. But his book is published through Hampton Creek Press, which is his own imprint. So again, they're not going to drop him because that's his company. And he also has gotten a distribution deal a few months ago with Simon & Schuster, and they released a statement condemning his actions, but so far they have not said whether or not that deal would still be going through. They've not said that it's not going through, so I feel like it probably still is, but who knows, like everything is subject to change. And he also had a movie deal for this book, but again, I feel like that's so far away, it's really hard to say whether or not that will be impacted by this whole situation. But yeah, so that's the most recent drama on BookTok. Drama used very lightly because obviously this is a very serious situation. It's not just like petty drama or something like that. But this is the latest thing that's been taking over BookTok that everyone is talking about. And there's also another author that's being called out at the same time, because BookTok, obviously, the authors on BookTok cannot go a week without some drama starting. But there's another author being called out for getting mad on TikTok and saying that anyone who leaves 3 stars or lower is like a terrible person. So let me know if you want me to talk about that, because I definitely do not agree with that stance. So yeah, leave a comment down below if that's something you'd like to see me talk about on my channel. With that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Bye.